Remember when your mom said you're perfect just the way you are? Well, she lied. Okay? You either need steroids or Ozempic. And I'm here to tell you who's who today. It's pretty plain cut. There's a lot of guys who I think could do a lot better. They're just in the wrong division, wrong class, fighting the wrong guys. They got a great style for another division. They've got a great frame for another division, and they're just not in there for some reason or another. So these are 6 guys I want to see move around the UFC a little bit. This is just a part 1. I've got like 15 people I think fall into this category. If y'all want to see a part 2, comment who I missed down below. But I'm jumping straight into this bitch with who I feel the most passionately about. Brian Ortega needs steroids. Fuck USADA. Get him out of here, okay? Or let me stick him right there, you know? Fuck USADA. Get him out of here. Brian Ortega has looked lethargic, out of shape, and just mentally checked out in his last couple of fights. Now, I will give him, I guess, a pass against Diego Lopez. He literally got knocked out with the first punch and woken back up with the second one. He was concussed 5 seconds into the fight. I mean, I can't really blame him for not looking prime. Against Yair Rodriguez, he really just got decimated for a little bit and then managed to choke out a guy who has really bad ground game. I expect that out of you. You're one of the most prestigious black belts in the world when it comes to jiu-jitsu. One of the best well-versed practitioners in the world. I would fully expect you to submit Yair Rodriguez the first chance you got. You know, I mean, that just sort of makes sense to me. That's not something that's going to put you on a higher caliber. We already know you're capable of that. We actually assume that level out of you. So being able to do that doesn't warrant or doesn't solidify you as, oh, no, I'm still fine. I'm still good here. No, dude. You can't keep up with the speed. Your cardio's looked off for a little bit. And I'm a huge Ortega fan. I just want to see him move weight classes so that I don't have to see him get beat up. If he moves up to 155 and it's a bad fit, we'll know quick because he'll probably just get knocked out. I'd rather see that than him get beat up and pummeled by a guy who's not strong enough to finish him for 25 minutes or 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy's a legend. I really like him. I feel like we should respectfully just sort of push him in the right direction with this one, you know? Same way that Kelvin Gastelum needs to push the plate of tacos away. When this dude came into the UFC, he had some of the most potential we've ever laid eyes on, just from a prospect. Especially with the times we were in, we were coming out of the dark ages when Kelvin Gastelum emerged. We could have used... Welterweight is what I feel like is the pinnacle of fighting. 170 is just the middle of everything. So I feel like you can't really have a weakness if you're in that 170, 185 area. And I've always sort of felt like that. Kelvin could have been the first guy. You know, we had Anderson Silva decimating plumbers, but we didn't have coming out of the dark ages, coming out of, okay, all these guys suck and there's one really good dude, or there's 2 really good dudes per division, right? We didn't have someone who could just do it all. Maybe you say GSP. GSP was still a little bit early for me to say. I don't know. I'm not necessarily comparing Kelvin to GSP, but, like, what else are we supposed to get from him? We literally never saw prime Kelvin Gastelum because he was either getting drunk, shoving tacos down his face, or missing weight and still looking good despite being fat in the ring, you know? Like, he's just stripped us of seeing so much. I would like to see 1 year before he retires of Kelvin Gastelum severely locked in. Last time he fought at welterweight, he beat Chris Curtis. That's not to say that's some, like, phenomenal feat, but I wouldn't exactly pick him to beat Chris Curtis. So that's a good victory, especially whenever you moved back up to middleweight and you lost your last 2 fights. And you look terrible in them. It's not even like they're close. What are we doing? Like, cut it out. Discipline yourself. Another one I want to see, I don't think this guy has any issue with discipline. I think it's quite the opposite, actually. I think he's too set for his own good. I think he's too determined and too well fucking focused for his own good. I think Corey Sandhagen needs to move up a little bit, okay? It's not that he has bad matchups. It's not that, why are they getting different sizes all of a sudden? It's not that he has bad matchups. It's not that he can't beat the guys at 135. It's just that for business, as Dana puts it, Corey's never going to get the proper opportunity he deserves. Did he look mid against Umar? Yeah, but Umar lost him a Rob. So What are we talking about here? He lost to the best guy in the world. Cool. Corey Sandhagen has already proven to be one of the most well-versed strikers in the world, regardless of division, regardless of promotion, regardless of any of that. Corey Sandhagen is a phenomenal striker, but he's got no power in those hands. They're really fast, they're really accurate, those kicks are deadly, the submissions are there, he can wrestle you, but the hands, I just don't really see the sting, the oomph that I want to see, just from high-level guys. It doesn't necessarily have to be the world champion, but if you're in the top 6 of the division, I want you to have one-punch power for your division, and I don't think Corey has that. On top of the fact that Corey has no issues making 135. He's done it his whole career easily. I think that if he spent a little bit of time to really bulk up, get some muscle on that frame, and still fight the same way, still be Corey Sandhagen in a slightly more vacant 145 division, I think he looks great. I think you can throw him in there and get some really, really fan-friendly fights out of, like, Josh Emmett. Anything like that? Anything ring a bell? Sound cool? No? Maybe? Anyway, Corey Sandhagen is one of the guys who genuinely could be a world champion. I think he's just here at a bad time. Dana loves Sean O'Malley. Merab is super dominant. Umar is trying to be the second coming of Zabit. Like, I just don't see... Peyton Talbot is just, for some reason, the biggest fan favorite or, like, niche fan in the world right now. I just don't see a situation in which Dana rewards Corey with the 135 title shot that he deserves, rightfully deserves. Same thing with Petr Yan. I feel like Petr Yan's probably getting hoed at the moment, but not that this guy can't win at 135. It's just that I think he'd have a better legacy at 145. Moicano, it's easy money. I can do whatever I want. They told me they don't want me to fight at lightweight no more. They said they don't want me to fight at lightweight no more. I'm like, okay. Oh, wait. I'm like, okay, I can do that. I can go down to featherweight. It'd be no problem, brother. I got that. Easy money. Moicano genuinely looks 155 pounds in the octagon on fight night. Like, he doesn't cut to 155. He doesn't put on more weight after camp before the fight. He just goes into the octagon, 155, 160. Just have one shitty day of cutting weight and then fight at 145 with the same exact frame you have now. Does that not make sense to anyone else? Am I the only one that's ever really caught on to that? Moicano is an itty-bitty 155er. Like, okay, I get that Islam is a massive 155er, but when he was in the ring against Islam, it looked like those two dudes should not have even been in the same promotion. Not skill-wise, I just mean the body. Like, those two guys were not the same composition. That's insane. But even just looking at guys like Charles, Dan Hooker, I'm trying to think of more lanky guys, but they just seem like they have more mass on them. They're more solid. You look at guys like Poirier, who are fucking thick, man. I mean, they are solid. You can't knock those guys over. And Moicano just doesn't really fit into that mold. Whereas I think if he goes to 145, where there is a little bit of a height drop, he's still going to be that quick. He's still going to be that great on the ground. I haven't seen him. I don't think he's fought at 145 in like 5 years, 6 years minimum. So he's definitely gotten a lot better. I also feel like he's pretty injury prone at 155 because he's taken punches and kicks and chokes from guys who are just objectively bigger than him. You know, he's getting fucking bullied. It's not okay. I just think he'd be fine. He's okay at lightweight, but I just think he'd be totally fine to lose 10 pounds just on weigh-in days. Does that not make sense? I feel like one shitty day of cutting weight and he'd be a much better featherweight than he could ever be a lightweight. The same way I feel like one shitty week of actually training and doing your job, Paulo Costa could have easily been a light heavyweight 4 years ago. The last 2 fights he's had to call in a week ahead of time and been like, yo, let's go catch weight 190. And he didn't even make it one of the times because he can't make 145. He's huge. He's massive. Or 185. There's absolutely no way I want to see Paulo Costa get in the octagon again if it's at 185. 205 only. I wouldn't even care if I saw him at heavyweight. He would just be juiced to the fucking gills on that Paulo Costa sauce, bro. I'd be down for that, 110%. But what I'm not down for is the guy claiming that we're going to get an absolute war at 185, and then he's got to call up and say, I can't even make the weight. And if they force him to keep cutting, he looks lethargic and drained and dead. I mean, it's just not cool. Especially whenever you are as electric and as entertaining as Paulo Costa. I feel like the fans just sort of expect it from you. They expect you to know where you need to be, when you should be fighting. They're not expecting you to go win a belt, dude. No one is here telling you that you need to move up a division so that you can go fight Big Ank and Poatan. We're telling you to go knock out Johnny Walker. We're telling you to go beat up Bogdan Guskov, okay? Just go have fun in your natural weight class instead of trying to do one of the most odd defining cuts of all time every single time. You're a massive dude, and you're addicted to drinking anyway. Like, just let the gut sit, go up to heavyweight, and kick somebody with those fucking grape vineyard legs, okay? That's all I want to see. I want to see one more Paulo Costa war and then leave. Just retire. Because admittedly, I'm over it. I just like watching you on Twitter. You're funny, but you're not really good for business at this point. The same way bad business is keeping Gilbert Burns in the octagon, bro. I love Gil. I think we need to get this man a layup fight and call it a career. That needs to be it. He has been given JDM and Khamzat and Kamaru. I mean, like, for the last 3 or 4 years, this guy has been thrown contenders, the newcomers. They just gave him Michael Morales, like literally the definition of can't catch a break. Not Brian Ortega, I'd roll over him. Gilbert Burns is just too tough for his own good. I think he's going to Jose Aldo himself where he fights until he's like 45. And it's cool. I like the fact that Jose Aldo was still in the UFC until he just officially retired. But like, you weren't Jose Aldo anymore. You were just Jose Aldo. You were just fighting. The legacy was there. The aura's there. It's the same thing with Gilbert. You got a lot of fans. You got a lot of people who enjoy watching you. But there are equally that many people who don't want to see you get knocked out, who don't want to see JDM knee you in the face after you beat his ass for a little bit, who don't want to see Khamzat beat you on the ground where you're best at. And the problem is that he still looked good against these guys. He looked all right against Khamzat. He looked all right against JDM. Didn't look too great against Michael Morales, but that's also more age. I would like to see them give this guy an absolute layup, let him butcher somebody like Robbie Lawler did, and just walk off into the sun, bro. Call it a career. But these are the 6 guys I think need to move around the most right now. I've got 5 or 6 more I'm definitely willing to talk about. Let me know if y'all want to see a part 2. I love you guys. I hope you all have a phenomenal day. Enjoyed this video. Enjoy your time. Go make some motion. Talk to your mom. Adopt a dog, okay? Go do whatever you got to do to make your life better. I love you guys. Peace.